Hello everyone, welcome back to GGN. This is part 3 for this news report today. There'll be 4 parts. For Wednesday, June 19th, 2013, my website is ggnonline.com, and on YouTube my channels are ddarko2012 and ddarko2013. Alright, I'm going to cover some Singularity, Transhumanism in this third part. The Singularity is near, so mind uploading by 2045. So of all the hoopla about the Bilderberg group, the most important thing that I saw was that statue, that eerie, almost Terminator-looking type statue of a transhuman, and maybe that's what the big thing was all about. By 2045, humans will achieve digital immortality by uploading their minds to computers, or at least that's what some futurists believe. Well, what I believe is that some humans will be able to achieve digital immortality. Those are the elites, those are the gods, right? Says this notion formed the basis for the Global Future 2045 International Congress, a futuristic conference held here June 15th and 16th with the brainchild of Russian multimillionaire Dmitry Zykov, fell somewhere between hardcore science and science fiction. It featured a diverse cast of speakers, but it goes on here and says 2045. Says that they predict by 2045 technology will surpass human brain power. I think it technically already has with all these algorithms and that. They're just not telling us that. They got to put it all together, and they got to find a solution to what to do with all of us, the rest of us, to create a kind of super intelligence, an event known as Singularity. Other scientists have said that robots will overtake humans by 2100. According to Moore's law, computing power doubles approximately every 2 years. Several technologies are undergoing similar exponential advances, from genetic sequencing to 3D printing. It says, based on conservative estimates by the amount of computation you need to functionally simulate a human brain, by 2045 we'll be able to expand the scope of our intelligence a billion-fold. So-called transhumanists interpret this impending singularity as digital immortality. Specifically, they believe that in a few decades humans will be able to upload their minds to a computer, transcending the need for a biological body. The idea sounds like sci-fi, and it is, at least for now. The reality, however, is that neural engineering is making significant strides towards modeling the brain and developing technologies to restore or replace some of its biological functions. This physicist, Penrose from the University of Oxford, and others disagree with the interpretation of the brain as a mere computer. Penrose argued that consciousness is quantum mechanical phenomena arising from the fabric of the universe. Those of the Penrose school think uploading the brain would have to involve quantum computers, a development unlikely to happen by 2045, but this Eiskopf thinks otherwise. The 32-year-old president of the Global Future 2045 Congress is dead set on living forever. So do you think this guy was just grassroots, just came from nowhere, or do you think he was groomed or tapped to do this? Russian tycoon wants to move mind to machine, so basically following up on what we were saying. But it has a timetable. By 2020, robots we can control remotely with our brains. By 2025, a scenario familiar to watchers of sci-fi cartoon show Futurama, the capability to transplant the brain into a life support system, which could be a robot body, essentially a robot prosthesis that can replace an ailing, perhaps dying body. By 2035, the ability, of course, to really go along with this, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could still believe in a God or an afterlife, but to me personally, I would be like, you'd kind of be anti-God or anti belief in an afterlife, and basically saying that that natural order of things, of death and rebirth and all that, isn't good enough for you. Man must override, God's great design. By 2035, the ability to move the mind into a computer, eliminating the need for robots' bodies to carry around wet, messy brains. By 2045, technology nirvana in the form of artificial brains controlling insubstantial hologram bodies. Matt Damon, the new Matt Damon movie reveals mankind's transhumanist destiny. So Elysium, the super elite, centralizes technological progress to achieve utopia. So in the movie Elysium, starring Matt Damon and Jodie Foster, depicts what many futurists have long predicted as mankind's ultimate destiny, the division of the human race into two new class systems, a transhumanist elite that centralizes technological progress to achieve utopia, and a massive underclass left to rot on a dying planet ruled by robotic drones. So it says here that the trailer's set to be released on August 9th. It begins by depicting an army of robot drones in control of policing that shake down and beat citizens for trivial violations. By the year 2154, when Damon's character expresses anger at his treatment, he is offered a pill to calm him by a robotic bureaucrat. Any form of dissent is treated as abusive. Humanity is divided between two worlds, reads the caption, explaining that most of humanity is left to reside on the overpopulated, collapsing Earth, while the super elite have developed a gargantuan and luxurious off-planet space habitat called Elysium, where war, poverty, hunger, and disease are non-existent. Remember that. That's what we're going to get into here in this video. This Bank of America murals. Who do you think these people are? This is all part of a plan here. So Damon's character is forced to undergo cybernetic enhancements before he can lead a mission to Elysium in order to find a cure for a cancer virus he has contracted. The movie also clearly designed to be a political jab at anti-immigration activists. So, referring to this book, The Age of Spiritual Machines, says the wider trend of the elite seeing humans as completely expendable as their roles are taken up by machines unfolds after 2029. There is almost no human employment in production, agriculture, and transportation. This is what I was just talking about on Monday. Even doctors and lawyers will be replaced by robots. And hell, even, it says it here, even bureaucrats, right? Politicians. By 2099, the entire planet is run by artificially intelligent computer systems, which are smarter than the entire human race combined, similar to Skynet's system fictionalized in the Terminator franchise. Humans who resist the pressure to alter their bodies by becoming part cyborg will be ostracized from society. One of the most biggest voices of dissent against this future, despite his murderous actions, was Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who widely was quoted by futurists like Kurzweil and Bill Joy as sagely outlining the dangers posed to the general public by the elite's drive for technological singularity, basically portrayed in this Elysium movie. Due to the improved techniques, the elite will have greater control over the masses, and because human work will no longer be necessary, the masses will be basically obsolete. Again, Twilight Zone, they cover that too. You're obsolete, right? A useless burden on the system. Useless eaters. If the elite is ruthless, they may simply decide to exterminate the mass of humanity. If they are humane, they may use propaganda or other psychological or biological techniques to reduce the birth rate until the mass humanity becomes extinct, leaving the world to the elite, wrote Kaczynski in his manifesto. So, which path do you think they're taking? This article from 2006, I covered every once in a while. Human species may split in two. Humanity may split into two subspecies into 100,000 years. Yeah, in 100,000 years' time, is predicted by H.G. Wells. The human race would peak in the year 3000, he said, before a decline due to dependence on technology. People would become choosier about their sexual partners, causing humanity to divide into subspecies. The descendants of the genetic upper class would be tall, slim, healthy, attractive, intelligent, and creative, and a far cry from the underclass humans who would have evolved into a dim-witted, ugly, squat, goblin-like creatures. 100,000 years' time, huh? Americans fatter than ever, obesity officially called a disease. So that's a good way to cover up what's actually going on. U.S. obesity rates have reached a record high, and physicians have officially classified it as a disease, which you can catch, right? No. Which will likely change the way doctors and health insurance providers treat the 28.9% of American adults who are severely overweight. So I find it kind of funny when people talk about a military draft or a revolution. I mean, give me a freaking break. They said that the country's obese population is 50% greater than it was in 97. 50% greater than it was a little over, just about 15 years, when only 19% of Americans were at dangerously unhealthy weight. I think Mexico and Africa were actually up there with the fastest climbing obesity rates as too. Again, this is targeted eugenics. If you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, you should watch it. Some people hate it. I do enjoy it. So, this is back to Bank of America's predictions, right? Shrink this a little bit so we can see it. It says, There's 3 murals are arranged in order of the timing of the world events. The first mural shows classic Masonic checkered floor as part of the landscape that the ruling families now control. So you see the biblical burning bush blowing west. It symbolizes the burning of America, which is currently being dismantled morally, economically, and politically. As the white man besides the burning bush is wearing a red sweater, blue jeans, red, white, and blue. He's totally distracted. They say by a book, but it's by television, whatever, while the bush is burning. He symbolizes the American citizen, distracted, unaware, and oblivious to the, they said, dying empire. I don't think I'd be proud that it was an empire, but just basically your culture being killed off, your country killed off. It says, see the controlled female puppet on the strings, so that'd be the next president. I thought it was going to be, instead of Obama, the second time, but he won, so we'll see this next one. I think it'd be a neocon, like Palin or something. So it says here they're among the group of people at the bottom left is America's colonial forefathers arguing the modern day suits. So that's diversity and stuff like that. This symbolizes Tea Party constitutionalists protesting the fascist New World Order police state that is unfolding. They're pointing at the central figure, the Masonic Aryan boy wearing a Nazi overcoat and clicking his heels together. Of course, they say, who is this? Well, they try to say that it's actually Prince William. You can go in there and check it out. They got all kinds of things, including the phallic symbols hidden, the crown, the William written in the sleeves. So the elites are dancing above, right, where all the chaos is going on. Overhead, the elite are hovering as Elysius and celebrating like gods, circling free and naked in their wealth and power, separated from the chaos, and energized by it, while the world population beneath them are trapped in their net. In the third panel, survivors, the apocalypse, whether it's nuclear or whatever, are stratified with the lowest level laborers holding up their gold-headed tools like crosses. It says the tools point worshiping up and symbolize their labor that enriches the red dragon symbolized behind the shoveled heads. Above the ground, the educated, skilled slave laborers are rebuilding a new world order, similar to the UN Security Council mural. Red Dragon is human form. It is etched into the hills at the highest level. He sleeps peacefully while the obedient, subservient population obey and serve him. So it basically illustrates a rebuilding era. I'm going to move fast here. DARPA developing digital airstrikes. So just like a video game, right? So the soldiers have Terminator-like video displays that can call in airstrikes with the shine of a laser beam. So they say our goal is to make close air support more precise, prompt, and easy to coordinate under stressful operations. We can make smaller munitions to hit smaller moving targets, minimizing the risk of friendly fire or collateral damage. That's basically when they're calling in drone strikes. Like I said, the good example of while you're barbecuing in your backyard or whatever, and they can kill you and blow you up without blowing up the neighbors, so that they can stay tuned to their football game or whatever it is. Health Insurer's application, smartphone app, helps users track themselves. So they see cost savings in helping people track their health and fitness. They're going to launch this, which helps users monitor their own health tracking data. So as costs spiral upward, healthcare companies could eventually turn to such apps as a way to encourage healthy behavior. So like I said before, people are already doing this, how much they're exercising, what they're eating, how much they're eating, how many calories they took in, and they put this in their smartphone, and it's uploaded to an internet database voluntarily. So app pays you to spot illegally parked cars. So becoming a bounty hunter became easier. The Spot Squad is a mobile phone app that allows users to report illegally parked cars and get a cut of the fine paid as a reward. So snitching. New radios at Georgia Army base jam garage doors. Authorities say the new radio system, radio frequencies, being installed at the Georgia Army base is frustrating hundreds of homeowners who have been locked out of their garages because of jammed remote control signals. So time to stop arguing about climate change, says the World Bank. 97 to 98 scientific agreement on warming means it's real. U.S. serious about climate change, and China. So the world should stop arguing about whether humans are causing climate change and start taking action to stop the dangerous temperature rises. We should come together to stop the spraying of aerosols, i.e. chemtrails. Pesticides slash water life by 42%. They're going to kill off insects and other small aquatic life as much as 42% in the water. Coming soon, GMO plants with synthetic biology that make them glow. Synthetic biology, and the project is called Glowing Plant Project. Former GMO engineer drops biotech and goes organic. McDonald's closing all restaurants in Bolivia as nation rejects fast food. An alert, EPA about to raise allowable concentrations of glyphosate on food crops, edible oils, and animal feed. Smart meter makes touch lamps turn on and off at all times. So the homeowner, had no complaints about the new smart meter, saying that you can't fight new technology. But now he has a problem with his lights turning on and off due to the smart meter. Check this out, links will be posted. Smart meter killing shrubs. That's right, remember the student science experiment finding plants won't grow near Wi-Fi routers, and what the cell phone industry doesn't want you to know about radiation concerns. Thanks.